All right, now we're starting. Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. This is the live show we do every day at 10:30 Eastern Time. SBRforum.com, SBRodds.com, SportsbookReview.com, SBRpicks.com, all of that. Today is June 19th, Monday. Tough card today. Tough time in baseball in general. I feel like a lot of the low-hanging fruit has been weeded out, except for Bronson Arroyo, of course. Yesterday was Bronson Arroyo Day, and because that was on a Sunday, I guess I could have tweeted that out and credited it to my record. But
I sent out a nice little tweet reminding people.
Yeah,
they did win, didn't they? Not because of him.
Yeah, but I mean, if you bet the team total over, if you did any of the things you would have done, although I had the Dodgers on the -1 line, which pushed, but yeah, I mean, I also had the Dodgers team total over and everything. So a lot of it's a tough time in baseball because a lot of the low-hanging fruit, obvious plays against get weeded out, and you know, there's a lot of normalization going on, and a lot of tough lines. Today is no different. A lot of interesting games. As far as the pick is concerned, I think I'm only going to give like one second half play because I got to be very careful about what I'm doing. I'm also tracking bullpens a lot more carefully now. Track them every day. I can show you my spreadsheet where I'm doing that. Yeah. And it's very important to do. Something I was a little bit lazy with.
It's a pain in the ass because, you know, it's the problem with that is that the guys cycle out so much. Not the closers so much, but the middle relief guys. Yeah. You know, I was not so much these days, but he was a feverish Yankee fan back in the 90s and early 2000s. I couldn't tell you what their entire bullpen looked like on any given day.
Yes, it is, and it's because you're doing a lot of tracking, and usually the conclusion is, you know, nothing to see here. You know, sometimes there is though, and I will get to that with my 1 second half play today. But it is definitely a very tough card. Obviously, you could make an argument for taking the Dodgers, even though did you know? Howdy, guys.
What?
You know the one. You know the thing that really like messed me up, that where I'm still dealing with the psychological fallout from was taking Chris Sale at -250. You know, Phillies. That's the only game they've won in the past 12 games. They're 1-11 in their past 12, and that is the one game that they won. And not only that, it's the game where they scored like fewer runs than any of their other games.
Yeah, they only scored one run.
One run. The Phillies are 1-11 in their past 12.
Guess which game I bet on them?
What?
The only game I bet on them, too.
As a massive road favorite. That was like a classic setup where the books nailed me and every other somewhere out there. All right,
send me your address.
Yeah, let's quickly get to it. Let's quickly look at some of the comments here. Lou Skunt says Kershaw -315. Ha ha ha. Jacobs Field.
What, minus how much?
Well, it's some 315. No, there's some other 291s, but I'll say, and the Dodgers are not a pick for me today, but they have won Kershaw's last 8 starts in a row, and they're 12-2 in his starts overall on the year. So, based on those numbers, you know, Kershaw should have been -600 every start, and if he was -600 every start, you'd be even betting him. So, you know, they've won his last 8 starts in a row, right?
I mean, that's surprising.
What?
That they've won his last 8 starts.
Well, there were a lot of years where like Kershaw was a similarly big favorite, and they'd be like 500 or something like that, or like 7-5. You know, you do tend to see that a lot. This is not the case with Kershaw this year. So Kershaw, you know, overall has still been a profitable pitcher to bet on. They've only lost 2 of his starts, and they've won 8 in a row. Zach Wheeler, of course, is coming off of a game where he got shelled. Before that, he was reeling off a bunch of starts that were pretty good. You know, this one, you know, if you gave me a free bet, I probably would take Dodgers -1, but obviously I'm going to stay off of it. But Kershaw is dealing game in and game out. All right, so yeah, Justin Searcy is saying fade the whole day. Yeah, there's a lot of tough matchups today. Hamill against Velasquez, and you know, Blake Kersey says I'm liking KC today. Jim Bean says it's Jason Hamill fade day. Jason Hamill, for a bunch of starts, has not been a fade. In fact, he's been a play on. He's had 3 or 4 great starts in a row. He's only given up 1 walk, I think, in his last 3 starts. I think that Hamill in the
really turned it around.
Yeah. Hamill in the very short term is the real deal. And then Boston is starting this guy Velasquez, who had some great minor league numbers, had, you know, 1 start where he got hit. His last relief appearance in the majors was pretty good, though. So that's a tough one. KC, of course, has been money all June. 2nd most profitable team in baseball all June. How long are they going? But they're also a team that I prefer to take as a big road underdog when they're at home and not getting big underdog odds. It's a little bit different. So this is that game's another one where I'm going to stay off of. Although I might have a slight lean towards Boston on the second half. That would be one of my leans. I'll give my pick. I'll give the one pick that will be a. I'll give the one pick that I will give, and that is going to be Toronto on the second half. Now it opened quick. It opened at -120. Now it's up to -130. Toronto, of course, has had over the last 30 days or so a very much improved bullpen. Very recently, they've been about even with Texas, but longer term, they've had a better bullpen than Texas. Estrada's been definitely getting crushed, and he's probably going to be vulnerable here. And Texas, I think, is they've had a bunch of bullpen, a bunch of the top guys that have been used recently. So I'm going to take Toronto on the second half -130. It opened at 120. Wish I could be giving that, but I'm going to take 130. That might be my only pick of the day, and I do believe that it would qualify as the low-hanging fruit of the day, in my personal opinion. So that's the only pick I'm going to give right now, Toronto -130 on the second half, and let's see some over. Let's see. Loshak been missing your fades this weekend, yeah. Mike, yeah. I've had a rough couple weeks. This in MLB. Let's see. Other questions. Wait, what is we talking about? Like, I don't understand. They're making some joke about. One lady who passed by has a. Oh, okay. Oh. Now I understand. A lot of comments there. Nelson Reynoso started all that with one lady who just passed by has a fat ass. LOL. And then, yeah, no, we should not get her in here. All right. Yeah. Okay, great. All right, wonderful. All right, okay, so Arthur Mead Jr. saying good morning to the SBR personnel. All right, let's get to a lot of the comments on Let's see, a bunch of Wykeem Hill. Shout out to Wykeem Hill, fourth poster. All the guys, Jim Bean, Wykeem Hill, Lou Skunt, all the guys. All right, let's see. Juan Whitaker saying yes, fruit is gone. LOL. All right, obviously people have noticed that my picks have gotten a little bit south recently, and I'm look.
This as if yes, a lot of picks today. Let's talk about picks we made.
Well, a lot of games. We want to talk about the games. Yeah.
I know we want to talk about that.
No, my contest picks have been as crappy as my regular picks over the past couple weeks, which is, okay.
I am hanging strong at 276.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Very nice. You're only a half unit down?
Not from the leaderboard. From zero.
Oh, okay. Right. That's what I mean. You're only half unit down. You're in 276th place.
Yeah.
Wow. Some people are doing well. I guess that's because all the people who didn't make a pick and are all even are all in the middle. So
most likely they're still in there. Yeah.
Still.
175th. Yeah, we're getting destroyed. I think the best one out of anybody who even sort of works here is Jimmy the Bag.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, let's get to some of these. Let's see. Carlos Luders says, I've seen Boston's Velasquez pitch for years, and he's great at the AAA level. Stuff not likely successful at MLB level, plus Boston's a banged-up team. I like KC. Yeah, a lot of people making the case for KC. Again, Hamill is enjoying a nice resurgence, and it may well be that KC is once again a nice pick today. A lot of people liking KC, and you guys are making a good case. You might be right. Okay, other comments. Washington and the Nats over is a deal. That's obviously sort of an obvious play. Tanner Roark has been getting absolutely crushed recently, and Nicolino is one of these crafty lefties who can give you a 6-inning 1-run start out of nowhere, somewhat reliably, but more often than that gets hit and at times absolutely crushed. And that's why the line is on the high side. It's 9.5. If it were 9, I might give it, but at 9.5, I'm going to beg off it. Again, a lot of these MLB lines right now are very, very tight, very, very close to where they should be. I can certainly see the argument for the over in Washington, Miami, and the first 5 innings over at just 5. I can also see the argument for the first 5 innings over also in San Francisco, Atlanta, and Cincinnati, Tampa Bay. In San Francisco, Atlanta, Johnny Cueto, of course, is very, very mediocre right now, and R.A. Dickey is R.A. Dickey. He basically gives up, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs every start, except for his last start, which is at home against Philly, where he had gave up 1 run and struck out 8, but that was pretty clearly an anomaly. Dickey usually gives up a bunch, and Cueto, again, very mediocre. I could see an argument to be made for the Atlanta team total over 4 as well. And also, I could see an argument to be made for the first 5 innings over with Cole and Garza. Garza, of course, very vulnerable in general, and Cole, off of a better start in his last start, but he feels very vulnerable to me going forward. I don't think that I'm not sold on him regaining his top form going forward. I think he's going to get hit a bit. Could also make the argument for the first 5 innings over 5.5 in Toronto and Texas. Estrada and Biebens-Dirks. Estrada definitely very vulnerable getting hit. So a lot of tempting first 5 innings overs, and probably if I gave all 5 of those, Cincinnati, Tampa Bay, Washington, Miami, San Francisco, Atlanta, Pitt, Milwaukee, and Toronto, Texas, probably at least 3 of them cash, maybe 4 of them cash. So maybe I'm just being a pussy by not giving all 5 of those first 5 innings overs that seem kind of low-hanging-ish. Like low-hanging, but not with a ton of value, because 5 is a tough.
You ramp up this week and set it down.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, Matty Ice, for that endorsement, for that ringing endorsement. All right, let's see. I hope you're right, Matty Ice. Another interesting. No, what?
I don't know if that was an endorsement, but
yeah, you're. That wasn't really an endorsement. It was a well wishes. It was well wishes. All right. Yes. Again, a tricky card, and then also the Cubs as a huge favorite over San Diego. That's another tough one. I'm not going to touch that one. San Diego is just so bad against lefties, though, and the Cubs actually do hit lefties well. Richard can be good. I might actually take a lean. If you gave me a free play on that one, I probably would take the Cubs -1 there. I'm not a believer in San Diego against lefties right now. And Richard, although I wouldn't bet, there's no way in hell I'm betting that one. I'm just saying, at first I was thinking that San Diego as a huge underdog would be the way to go. Now I'm probably leaning the other way, but I'm definitely not going to bet that one way or the other. Let's see. Other comments here. Let's see. Yeah, Jim Bean says Padres auto fade. Let's see. Maybe Pete didn't pay electric bill, no lights. I don't know. Are people getting this feed? Are people getting it? Yeah, okay. I don't know what they're talking about, but let's see. Mac Taylor saying, someone want to give quick analysis on why to pick Seattle. That game, yeah, if someone has an opinion on that one. Sanchez is coming up from the minors, right? Obviously, Sanchez is a guy with a history of success in the majors, but this year he got crushed when he was in the bullpen. His minor league numbers this year were okay, but again, you see a lot of these guys who, can get AAA hitters out, then when they come to the majors, they get crushed. Gaviglio is a guy who's been having some success in the majors, getting it done with smoke and mirrors, so he's not a guy I'm super sold on either. So, that one is, again, a line where I think the line is dead on, and you could make an argument, again, on the first 5 innings over on that one as well at 5. Sanchez and or Gaviglio probably gets hit kind of hard here. And again, if I had to take a pick on that one, probably I would take a shot with Seattle on the -1 line, because I probably am a believer right now a little bit more in Gaviglio than I am in Sanchez. But that one is another game where the market looks like it has a great read on it. All right. Let's see. Mike Keep says, why don't you like Estrada first 5 and Toronto second half when Estrada owns the Rangers? Well, because Estrada's been getting crushed recently. Looks like he might be, there might be an injury there, command issues. I'm not a believer in, Estrada might own the Rangers in his career, but right now he's struggling in a major way, and I think that takes precedence over his lifetime numbers against the Rangers. All right, let's see. Yes, Jim Bean says Estrada is garbage right now. All right, let's see. Josh Miller says, I'm on board with your thinking, Mikey. Okay, perhaps so. Perhaps Estrada is is due for a good start here against Texas.
Well, he's certainly due for one, whether it'll happen
today. Right. Well, I mean, due is not the word. What
in for.
Yeah. Do implies that it's statistically likely to happen, whereas in for means like you're just sort of non-quantitatively saying that it feels like it's about to happen. All right, let's see. Nicholas Susi says, I do like Texas State. Toronto had a long trip yesterday cross country last night. That is accurate. That is true. In general, I would be leaning Texas as a small home dog as well, and I definitely felt that way when the opening line came out. I'm just going to take Texas on the second half, but it's definitely true. Toronto had a long trip coming across from where were they playing yesterday? They were playing in let me see. Let me bring up my My notes here, Texas is traveling. Toronto's traveling from home. Right, they were at home. That's right. So traveling from Toronto all the way down to Texas, which is a big travel. But I'm gonna take Toronto on the second half.
International travel.
What? Yeah.
International.
Yes, it is. It is tough. It is tough to do that. All right. Let's see. Jason Schofield says Astros low-hanging fruit. That line did not have an overnight line, and I did not. So I did not look at that one. But it is definitely true that Houston has been way better on. I mean, Houston, all of their profitability this year has come on the road. Oakland, though, of course, we saw what happened when the Yankees went in there, got swept. A lot of top teams can go into Oakland and be a big trap as a road favorite. That could happen with Houston here, although they did play already 2 games at Oakland this year and won both of them by margins. They also played a 3-game series at the Angels. They won 2 of those 3 games, although they were close. They were all close. But so, maybe Houston has a team makeup that doesn't get, slayed as much as some East Coast teams when they go into, Oakland and the Angels. But we've definitely seen it, and it's definitely treacherous to take a road favorite at Oakland, almost no matter what team you're talking about. So definitely be aware of that. But yes, Houston, definitely a team that I'm looking to play on the road going forward as well. All right, let's see. I wouldn't call them low-hanging fruit here for sure, but they might well be a good play. Let's see. Other comments. Let's see. Feldman overrated. Yes, that's an interesting one. Let's see. DJ1 Mike says, I think Mets plus 276 is the trap, really. Yes, again, as I said, the Dodgers have won Kershaw's last 8 starts in a row, and overall they're 12-2. So if you take that as representative of where their line should be, they should be like minus 500 when he starts, and it's entirely possible that that is the case here, and that actually the Dodgers do have value, and the Mets at that big underdog line is the trap. Here, Jason Schofield says Dodgers a trap at minus 300. I'm staying off of them. All right, let's see.
Do you think books do this sometimes to deter people just from betting at all on a game?
No,
really.
I don't think. I mean, if you ask all the lines makers, they're just trying to anticipate where the line should be, and they're also trying to actually. Well, that's a good question. I mean, they according to some lines makers, they are factoring in where they think the public is going to bet. That is true, but no, they're not. They're never trying to deter action. They love action. They just want to make sure that they don't get hit hard by big sharp action and wind up on the wrong side of a big bet. All right,
Bang the book. We got a CFL show on Tuesdays.
Very
so
nice.
Tomorrow it's noon Eastern.
Very nice. All right. Someone else asking about that Holly Holm fight. Blake Kersey says, Pete, how about that Holly Holm fight? I nailed that one. Well, thank God I nailed that one. The under. Thought the under was a great play on that one. And in general, I'm pretty good with MMA and UFC. In general, pretty good, and especially with totals, with fights like that.
I mean, there's not a lot that can go.
What?
There's not a lot that could happen. There's only 3 things that could happen.
Right. Sure. Yeah. I mean, most sports are more simple than they seem, and it's just sort of like trying to predict, which outcome the market is undervaluing. And that one just definitely had knockout written all over it. Just as we talked about in the show, just because of how Kohea likes to go about things. All right. Let's see.
Atlanta.
He's in West Virginia
right now. All right, let's see. McGodster saying, Pete, you like the Cubs run line? That one I'm gonna stay off of. But yeah, if I had a free pick on that one, I would take the Cubs. Again, San Diego is terrible against lefties. And the Cubs are great against lefties. Richard is a wild card. Richard at any given time can have an unexpectedly good start. He's not a guy I want to auto fade, but San Diego is also just terrible in general. And so, if I had a free bet on that one, I would take the Cubs -1. Although I'm not going to bet that one. At first glance, I thought that the Padres were getting disrespected, and I would have been leaning Padres at like +1 in the +190s. But now I'm leaning the other way. All right, let's see other comments.
B. Hunter, the Braves gonna rock Cueto today.
Are the Braves going to rock Cueto? Very possibly. I mean, Cueto is definitely coming crashing way back. I mean, he's mediocre at best. He pitches in a pitcher-friendly park, and now when he's going, cross country against Atlanta, That would definitely be a lean for me. Atlanta on the team total over, and maybe I'd take a shot with Atlanta as a. I would also lean Atlanta as a home dog. It's just with Dickey, you really never know what you're going to get. But you also, he rarely gets absolutely crushed. He's kind of reliably sucky. He gives, but never reliably auto fade. He gives you like 5-6 innings, gives up 3, 4, 5 runs, those kinds of starts. So I would lean Atlanta on the team total over. I would lean first 5 innings over with that one, and a lot of tempting leans today. All right, let's see. And then Blake Kersey says Ward, yes, Ward by decision got robbed. That was a bad stoppage. Okay, that's
what they were saying.
I mean,
apparently punched him in the dick like 4 times, and then they called the fight.
Yeah, I mean, he punched him in the dick. What do you want to look? What happened? He punched him in the dick. That's what happened. I don't know. That was a tough one. I previewed that one with Andreas Hale, and that one I said.
But you guys didn't see that one coming.
No, we did not. We made a lot of predictions about that fight, which I thought were pretty astute. But none of us made the prediction that was
TKO by knob shot.
Yeah, he punched him in the dick.
He got Draymond hard.
Neither one of us said he didn't punch him in the dick. But that one was I previewed that with Andreas Hale, and I think we actually nailed that one. We said this is going to be a great fight to watch. No way we're betting it. And Andreas made a gun to his head pick. I gave a gun to my head pick, but there's no way in hell I was going to bet that one. But great fight to watch and to see how it turned out. A lot of times, as I said with Andreas, a lot of times like the fights that are going to be the best to watch are the ones that are the worst as far as betting value, and vice versa. The ones that are like kind of like the crappiest ones, like a lot of the ones with like basically every fight that Anderson Silva's in from now until he retires, I think is going to be kind of a boring fight to watch, and I'm going to but great betting value on that it goes the distance. Yeah.
I don't know.
I've been betting every Anderson Silva fight to go the distance for the past since he wasn't the classic Anderson Silva.
Well, yeah, back then.
Yeah. So that is the way MMA goes. And all right, okay. Ernest Tuffman says Ward hit low-hanging fruit. There you go. Hey, Ernest Tuffman, comment of the day. Ernest Tuffman.
Thank you.
All right, I think we can wrap this up.
Well, I got to tell you something.
Okay, go ahead.
I know you like to get into documentaries, and the big thing is you like to get into YouTube communities.
Yes.
I found one
really
this weekend that I got way deep. I mean, I'm not interacting with these people, but I figured I'd share it with you. These are these guys who collect and eat, some of them, like old military rations from like the 40s and 50s. And there's this one guy in particular, like Steve something or other. I'll send you the link. He just has the most calming voice. He's very informative, and you watch him eat like pound cake from 1943. And he just talks about it, and he opens them all up. It's like Christmas for him. I don't know why I was still freaking fascinated by this all weekend, but I thought of you.
Oh, man, that is fucked up. I guess that would be interesting to watch. I mean, it's not
really disgusting. It's actually pretty informative. And the guy, just waiting for him to die of botulism. and then also in the old ones, they used to put cigarettes. So then he's testing like Chesterfields from World War I. And I guess they age too. It's all very fascinating to me.
I mean, I definitely always thought what a bottle of alcohol from like the 1800s would taste like. But yeah.
Well, they just found that shipwreck that had a bunch of champagne and some cheese too. They found one last week. Some brie. Seriously, there was a shipwreck off the coast of France, I think, and they found like brie from the 1700s. All
right, so do you mind if I go back to baseball, or a bunch of comments here? Okay, a bunch of nice comments. I'll get to some of the quick comments. William Speaker says, Pete, you really think picking Dickey is better than picking Cueto? No, but I feel like they're kind of a wash. I feel like they're both going to get hit, and you're getting a home underdog line here with Atlanta. San Francisco is serious ass, right? Atlanta is. I wouldn't put Atlanta in the ass category.
I would say Atlanta is exactly where you expected them to be. The Giants are underperforming.
I mean, they're close to ass. They're upper thigh. They're upper thigh. But they're not ass. San Francisco is just flat out ass. And now they're a road favorite with Cueto going against Dickey. So yeah, I would be leaning Atlanta on the team total over. I'd be leaning Atlanta as a home dog, and I'd be leaning first 5 innings over. Now here we go. Some other okay. Let's see. Oh wow, Blake Kersey says, "Dude, I watched that too." I assume he's talking about your comment, your community.
Look, all of the comments I read were like, I don't know why I'm here. I cannot stop watching this. I've been here for 3 days, and I can't stop watching it. And that's exactly how I felt.
That's Blake Kersey comment right before you just said that. You can't stop watching them. Wow. Amazing. Maybe I will check it out. Maybe I will check it out.
Maybe you were on the fence.
Yeah. No, I will. No, any. Sure. It's like a drug addict being like, oh, you got to try Special K. Yeah, you'll get addicted to that. Like, really? Okay. Comment from Wang Joe. He says, come back on weekend. We lost money because of you took weekend off. Okay, maybe people were fading me. Jocko Schofield says, are you rested this Monday, Pete? You pick great on Mondays. Yes, I am rested, and I definitely feel like I have a great overall read on the games today, which is why I'm only giving one, although I might wind up before the show is over giving a bunch of these first 5-inning overs. No, you don't think so?
I told you, man. Start slow and build up for the week.
Start slow. All right, I'm really tempted to give the Atlanta team total over because Cueto.
I see you all twitchy over there.
Well, it's 4. Yes. Let's see. So I am rested. Last night I did all my deep MLB research on last 2 weeks, last month, bullpens, everything. All right. Let's see. Other comments. Let's see. Everyone loves Wang Joe here. Everyone loves Wang Joe. And let's see. Jacob Schofield says, Astros is my low-hanging fruit. You might be right, Jacob Schofield. That's the one game I didn't look at because it didn't have an overnight line. Again, it's very, very treacherous to pick against Oakland as a home dog, but Houston already has 2 wins in Oakland today. In Oakland this year, they also have won 2 out of 3 at the Angels. So Houston might be a team that does well on the West Coast, and you might be right there. It's not a high road line, and of course Houston. Great road record. All of their awesome profitability this year has come on the road. All right. And Wang Joe asking for hanging fruit, question mark. I guess that is going to be for me, Toronto, second half, -130. Despite the fact that they are traveling, it's not a good travel spot for them. I like their bullpen situation tonight more than Texas. So I'm going to take Toronto, second half, -130. Hopefully the travel won't affect their bats. And I'm just praying that is the case. All right. Let's see. Pete, have you ever tried beat the streak with taking the batters? No, I have not tried that, although it's probably a very interesting thing to handicap as well. All right. Let's see. I guess that's about it. And now I will go over the leans. There are a lot of leans today. I'll tell you what my leans are. The Cleveland-Baltimore game, man, that is tempting. We didn't even talk about that. Cleveland obviously picking it up in a major way. And Kluber is also looking great. Bundy is not. Bundy's looking like, mediocre at best. I did take a shot with Cleveland on the overnight line at -1. I took it when it was -149. Now it's all the way up to the -170s. So that is a big move in my favor. At the current line, I won't take Cleveland. But I did take it at -149. Again, Baltimore is similar to Oakland. They've got a Oakland's great home record is understandable. Baltimore's great home record is not, and I think it's a little bit of a fluke, somewhat of a fluke. Not a huge fluke necessarily, but somewhat of a fluke. And I do think that Cleveland's going to have a nice edge here in this series. I also like Cleveland's pen, and I don't like Baltimore's pen going forward either. So I'm probably going to be on Cleveland a bunch of times this series. I did bet them -1 when the overnight line was -149. Now it's all the way up to the -170s. I guess I would still have a lean to Cleveland at -1 at the current line, but I won't. I definitely won't be given that one as an official pick. And then other leans are all these first 5 innings overs. Cincinnati at Tampa Bay, I'll hold off on that one, but that is tempting. Odorizzi has definitely been getting shelled, and Feldman is what's Matt laughing at? What's Matt?
The Cleveland.
Okay, all right.
It's like she's really making sure that she's making an appearance today.
Rourke and Nicolino, first 5 innings is tempting, and then the San Francisco-Atlanta game. I keep coming back to this one. The first 5 innings over, and the Atlanta team total over 4. The Atlanta team total over 4. Very
too often.
Very
tempting.
I'll
allow that.
The Atlanta team total over 4. Let me quickly make a final decision on this one. Oh, Jesus Christ Almighty! I'll hold off on that one. For now. But that's definitely a strong lean. Atlanta team total over 4. So those are my only real 2 leans here. Cleveland -1 is still a lean, and Atlanta team total over 4 is definitely a lean. And then the Pitt Milwaukee game at the first 5 innings over, I'll hold off on that one as well. But that's about it. I'll just keep it very, very simple. Just one pick. Toronto, second half -130, and 2 leans. Cleveland still -1, even at the much increased line, and Atlanta team total over 4 to hit Dickey at just -125 would also be another lead. All right. That's a, yeah. John Carey says, watch Cueto be lights out today. Yes, entirely possible.
No-hitter today.
Yes.
He's capable of doing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I'm just going to, and Seth Berry says, Feldman, either bad or good. I'm going with bad tonight. If you want to take advantage of a guy who has high volatility like Feldman, you bet run lines, whether you're taking them against him or when you're betting on him or against him. If you're betting into volatility, you want to take as big of a dog line as you can. Now, be careful when you're buying and selling runs because you pay more for the ability to do that. But in general, if you want to bet on or against a guy like Feldman, who clearly has high volatility, try to take big dog lines, and that means taking minus run lines either on him or against him, whichever way you're betting. And I definitely do that. That's one of the things that I do. Handicap volatility when it comes to starting pitching. All right, everyone's talking about the cleaning lady. Nelly Covers says, "Love me the cleaning lady." All right, that's about it. Let's
get her on special guest.
I'm sorry.
Special guest.
Yes, the special guest.
Yeah, if you want to see the cleaning lady on the show tomorrow, like and subscribe. Also, guys, we figured something out too. If you go in. There's a little one of those little gears, like settings into our YouTube channel. You can turn on notifications, and it'll let you know whenever we're live. It'll be a big help to you because we do like updates from time to time from information that might be very pertinent.
Okay, sounds good. Hope you all enjoyed the show today. Just one pick, Toronto second half. I need to start the week off with a winner. I'll be back tomorrow with the Tuesday card.